In the earlier part, we have seen about the challenges of the political parties. Now, we will move toward the next part. How can parties be reformed? If the challenges are there, it's are not good for the democracy. What changes should they bring? That part we are going to see here. In order to face these challenges, political parties need to be reformed. It is needing to overcome on these challenges. That is why it is needing to bring the reforms. The question is, but are political parties willing to reform? If they are willing, what has prevented them from reforming so far? If they are not willing, is it possible to force them to reforms? These are some questions throughout the world faced by the citizens. Citizens are all over the world facing this question. This is not a simple question to answer. Easily we will not get the answer, but in a democracy, the final decision is made by leaders who represent political parties. People can replace them, but only by another set of party leaders. If all of them do not wish to reform, how can anyone force them to change? This is a big question. If political parties are not ready, yes, we are saying democracy is in a democracy, the common people having representation, and the representatives are elected by the common people. But the people will replace that person of another party by the another party. But if the both parties or all parties are the same, if all parties are not ready to bring changes in them, what to do? This is a big question here. But then also in India, it is tried to make the changes, to make the form organization. Some amendments are made in the constitution, some laws are brought in the parliament to prevent, to come out from these challenges. One by one we will see. First, anti-defection laws. This is a law, this is one amendment brought in the parliament. The constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs and MPs from changing parties. Through this amendment, it is preventing the MLAs or the MPs to change the parties after election to complete their interest, to get money rewards. The MLAs or MPs pressuring to the party, if you will not complete our these interest, if you will not reward us with this money, we will change the party. This was happening in the earlier period, and before election these people are taking symbol of the party, getting elect with the symbol of party, but after election they were changing the party because of their personal interest. That is why this anti-defection law is brought through the amendment. The next, the Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals. Affidavit. Affidavit, it is a signed document submitted to an officer where a person makes a sworn statement regarding her personal information. The affidavit is made in the government office. This is the sworn taken by the particular person. So legal document, affidavit is the legal document, valid document. The Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals. It was the way to reduce the influence of money and the power of the criminals. It is mandatory to all candidates before contesting in election file affidavit about his property and criminal cases pending against him. A new system has made a lot of information available to the public, but there is no system of check if the information given by the candidate is true. As yet, we do not know if it has led to decline in the influence of the rich and the criminal. There is a question about it. whether this affidavit brought the changes in the election policies or not, but it is one try to make it, to bring it for the better democracy. The steps taken by the Election Commission. The Election Commission also taken some steps to reduce the influence of the money, muscles, and other ways. The Election Commission passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational election. It is compulsory to all political parties to organize their organizational elections. Internal elections should be take place and file their income tax returns from where these parties are raising funds and how the income tax returns are there. It should be filed by the particular party. The parties have started doing so. The parties also started follow it, doing it, but it is a formality. It is not clear if this step has led to greater internal democracy in political parties. This is also like earlier. Legally, these people are doing, but don't know in reality it is worked out or not. These are the proposals for electoral reforms, suggestions to bring the reforms in the electoral system. We will see. Provisions of state funding of elections. Many people are of the opinion that with the purpose of check the muscles and money power, provisions of state funding of elections should be made. The state should provide money, funds to the political through it. This is said here, this is the suggestion. To reduce the money and muscle power, the funds should be provided by the government. A law should be made to regulate the internal affairs. A law should be made to regulate the internal affairs of political parties. There should be a law which will keep eye on the internal affairs of the political parties. It should be made compulsory for political parties to maintain a register of its member. Through this law, it is compulsory to maintain the register, to follow its own constitution. Every party should make their own constitution and it should be followed. Not only making, many parties are making, but it should be followed. To have an independent authority, to act as a judge, the case of party disputes, to hold open elections to the highest post. There should be a law to look on these affairs. If one party is not following this, there should be action taken against them. It should be made mandatory for political parties. It should be made mandatory for political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about 1/3, to women candidates. Similarly, there should be quota for women in the decision-making bodies of the parties. This is a way to empower the women. The women contribution should be more in the decision-making, and the party should give at least 1/3 tickets to the women. Automatically the reservation will be complete, but we knew the political leaders are not willing to give more participation to the women, so it is not happening. The voters list, proper revision of voters list. The voters list should be revised after a particular time. The people who are expired, their name should be removed from the list, and those new voters are there, their name should be involved. The voters list should be revised at a regular interval, and names of the dead or bogus voters, if bogus voters names are there, it should be deleted from the list, and names of the new eligible voters be included in this list. So these are some suggestions we have seen in this video. Till here we have studied the need of political parties, meaning of political parties, functioning of political parties, challenges of the political parties, national political parties, state parties, and how to overcome on these challenges. In detail we have studied. Again, if you have any question, you can raise.